Okay, everyone, what is up? Welcome to Rogues Gallery. We got a super hype event for you guys tonight. The beginning of our Turf Wars playoffs. It's going to be Crossy's Smack Squad going up against Dragon's Revival of Brood War. Man, only one team can advance and the other is out. The stakes couldn't be any higher. So I hope everyone's super excited for this because there's going to be blood in the water tonight. But before we get to the big event, let me introduce our eyes for this match. Pseudo, he's going to be observing for us. And then, I've got my trusted co-caster, who we should all give a big, warm welcome to, Keen. I'm Just Too Juicy, and this is Rogues Gallery's Turf Wars. Keen, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing fucking great tonight. I'm looking so forward to this. It's actually insane. I'm not even drinking tonight, which is like a big change of pace for me personally. But yeah, I mean, how about you, man? What are you thinking about these matches tonight?
Yeah, man, this is exciting. I think Smack Squad has so much to prove here. They've had, such a rough go of it. If they get completely swept and don't win a single series the entire tournament, I don't know, man. Can they really show their faces? So they've got a lot riding on this.
They definitely can't show their faces. In fact, I would just uninstall if they lose this match. I mean, like honestly, literally everyone else in this tournament has won a game except for this team. So if they go out first round, it's really honestly pretty sad.
Of course, they did have the unfortunate problem with one of their players having to drop out, so they did have to get a replacement, which obviously probably threw off their team synergy. But all the same, one map or one series is not too much to ask. So, I mean, and they have the players to do it. Crossy, obviously insane. Jayun, insane. Whip, dude, I've seen some of Whip's ladder rankings, and he's like S rank on multiple accounts. I mean, they have the skill there. Crane's obviously a very talented Protoss player. Yeah, they have the ability. I'm just curious to see if they're actually going to be able to knock it out of the park this time.
Knock it out of the park. What does that mean?
Well, see, there's this game called baseball, and with baseball, you use this wooden stick and you hit these balls, and there's this park that you're playing in, and if you hit the ball outside of the park, it's like a big deal. You score a point. So, yeah, like, can Smack Squad knock it out of the park is basically saying, can they score a point? Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Crossy literally is actually insane. I think all this team's problems actually stem from him. I think it's just a failure.
He's not literally insane.
No, I don't know, man. Have you seen him lately? He's kind of going off the rails a little bit. But
I have not seen him lately. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like honestly, I feel like both Crossy and Jayun have been like moving or something, or like I don't know. They're going through like some serious life events right now, just this week. So it's like just adding insult to injury. Like not only have they had just completely abysmal results this entire season, but then it's like just the perfect storm of like real life stuff. So I'm actually rooting for them. I hope they can pull it out tonight.
Well, we'll have to see. I don't know. Are these first games live, or are they going to be played by replay? I'm not 100%.
Crossy, I think, was either going on vacation or moving. So I think Cross and Dragon played ahead of time. So we will be casting the first game from replay. And originally it was Crossy who was going to be playing Team Melee with Whip and Crane. But Jane was also moving this weekend, and I guess he was able to get his computer set up in time. And Crossy actually is not here tonight, so it will be Jayun playing both the Team Melee matches, filling in for Crossy. So I think Jayun versus Tim was also played from a replay because Jayun just wasn't sure if he was going to be back in time. But yeah, all the other games will be cast live, I believe.
Okay, well, let's get to it then. If we're going to cast this first one from a replay, let's jump right in and we can get started here. This is going to be sick. This is Dragon versus Crossy. Yeah, I wasn't aware that Crossy was going or moving or anything like that, so let's hope it hasn't affected his gameplay too hard, and hopefully we get a sick match here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, all jokes aside, these two are two of the premier North American players, definitely like, if not top two, like at least top three, top four. Both very, very strong, competent players. I think someone posted their recent results in Jane's Discord just today, and it's like 7-8. I forget who is actually in the lead, but they have an extremely even record lately. We will have our blue Zerg Crossy in the bottom right, and our white Protoss Dragon in the top left.
Very cool.
On Ultimate Stream, by the way. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I was going to say it's a good thing you told me that. I thought this was Polaris for a second.
Yeah, no, Polaris isn't in our map pool. We only use the finest of modern ASL maps in this tournament. Only the best for our North American powerhouses. But yeah, this is actually kind of an interesting map. I know you've been a little inactive recently, so I don't know if you've caught any games on it. I think you did watch. I think we actually watched the ASL like in its entirety together. So I think you have seen some games on this. But yeah, if you aren't familiar with it, either you or our viewers, it is kind of an interesting map in that it kind of brought back the far natural style of Zerg versus Protoss a little bit. So we'll have to see if Crossy does that. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before. It is a bit of a passive style, and Crossy is definitely known for his just like balls to the wall aggression. So he might go for the kind of more traditional, like close third, and he will be going for a actually, yeah, 12 hatch.
This is pretty nice for Crossy. He's going to get down completely unblocked, and it's going to take a while for it to be scouted as well. You can see Dragon's just playing completely standard, going for the Forge Fast Expand. He's scouting twice, so Crossy's going to be feeling good. I mean, there is always the potential that Dragon could try to cannon rush. I'm not sure how good behind the naturals are in the natural of Crossy, if that's something that's actually viable to drop cannons here.
It looks like there's actually no space at all. So
yeah, it doesn't look very good for it. So most likely just going to drop down his Nexus. You can go 13 Nexus or 14 Nexus without dropping down any kind of cannon, which is nice. And yeah, they're both just going to be playing economically going forward for the early part of this game.
Yeah, so I mean, Crossy honestly got a little lucky here, right? Because Dragon scouted him a little late. If he scouted the 12 hatch first, he would have gone. I mean, he's still going Nexus first, obviously, but I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is like, who would you say has the advantage here? I feel like Crossy has a little bit of the advantage with the early 12 hatch.
He gets a small economic advantage, but it's nothing super significant. He'll feel more comfortable. He gets all these faster drones out, right? And meanwhile, Dragon's a little bit farther behind on, his gateway timing here and his, his gas and his pylon. If he had just, instantly dropped down the Nexus before the Forge, perhaps. But it's nothing significant. It's not like it's a huge deal. But yeah, Crossy has a small advantage.
How do you feel about this 2-hatch?
Yeah, I'm very curious. I don't know. Cross positions, so... But, I mean, Dragon sees everything that's going on. He knows that the layer's already coming, so... And, I mean, he's seen this layer going for a while, so he knows it's not going to be a cancel now. He knows that there's going to be some kind of fast stack coming in here. I wonder what Crossy's play here is. We see he's getting link speed as well. Do you think this is going to be like a lurker bus up the ramp? That seems kind of crazy.
I honestly, well, we haven't seen the den go down yet. I mean, Dragon still has a scout in the base here, so it'd be a little kind of crazy if Crossy just straight up threw the den down. So we'll be seeing a spire here. Very, very quick spire. Like the layer was finished almost around the same time that the core finished. Or I mean, the core started, I believe. So like, yeah, Crossy basically is going to have full control with Scourge and early mutas. And I think he's just going to transition into kind of a regular... Oh, well, actually, wow, this is a really early second gas here. I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy. I was thinking that Crossy was going to transition into a macro build and just get his third, fourth, fifth hatchery down, start taking a third, and just use his air control to control the space on the map. But with that early... Oh, wait. Okay, he canceled the second gas. I don't know if that was a mistake or if he was just using that to get a little bit of extra supply.
He is at 26 out of 26. So if he was using a ticket supply, he already got that supply back, or he got another overload. But I mean, he's going to have these mutalisks out really quickly, but Dragon should be more than prepared for this. I mean, I expect to see a cannon go down in his main any second here.
Yeah, he'll absolutely have to cannon up.
And once the cannon's there, he should be pretty safe against mutalisks. There's only going to be, you know, maybe 3 or 4 at most, at least in this initial push here, unless Crossy decides to wait for more. But if he waits for more, then we might, yeah, you can already see 2 cannons going down, so it's being extra safe there. And Dragon, you know, like Crossy invests a lot of money to get these fast mutalisks, right? So his economy is actually not very strong. He doesn't have a third base going. He's not making drones there. And so Dragon has a huge economic advantage, so I don't think there's any problem with him being extra safe and throwing down a second cannon just to make sure these mutalisks can't get too much done.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually did a similar build to this in the last game that I played against Dragon in Turf Wars, but I actually started out with a 9 pool, which is why I was surprised to see Crossy start with a 12 hatch and go into this, because my reasoning for the build that I did was to try to, like, you know, control space with the early lings and deny scouts and kind of make the Protoss a little more paranoid about cheese coming out. But the fact that Crossy did this right in vision of Dragon, like Dragon had a probe scouting the entire time, so he knows exactly what's coming. It's a little surprising to me, because in my mind, I thought one of the strengths of the build was the uncertainty that it created.
Well, you can see Crossy, you know, picking off that first Corsair, which is actually pretty huge, because that means Dragon has gotten no scouting off, and look at how many cannons he added. He added 2 more to his natural as well. You know, that's a lot of cannons now, and it is actually starting to slow down his gateway, you know, explosion here. He's only adding a second gateway right now. Obviously, he has to, you know, replace the Corsair that died too. So that's, you know, 100 gas down the drain. That slows his timings down for a bunch of other things. We see another cannon being dropped in the main. Dragon is really paranoid about what Crossy can be doing. And that's all, you know, because he got his first Corsair picked off so quickly. He has no information.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been rambling when that happened. That was actually huge, for sure. And yeah, all those cannons that Drag has to make. I think there's like 3 cannons in the main, 3 cannons around the natural mineral line, and then the, you know, cannon by the wall as well. So it's like Dragon has to be very, very careful now, and he knows like Crossy has absolutely disgusting mutamicro. He can run away with the game very quickly if he gets even a little advantage. So Dragon knows the kind of pickle that he's in right now.
Dragon still.
Sorry, go on.
He's still just massing up Corsairs here. He's going to probably try to move out and get some information with them pretty quickly, but you have to be so careful, because if you move out too quickly and you lose, you know, 2 or 3 more Corsairs, then all those Corsairs that you just made are completely useless. So I'm going to be curious to see when he wants to actually move out with them. These Zealots aren't really going to be able to get much done here with the Sunkins and all the Zerglings, so, but it should give Dragon at least a semi-better idea of what's actually happening.
Yeah, this is an amazing SimCity. There is absolutely nothing that Dragon is going to get accomplished. He's going to get 1 drone with that DT, but the sacrifice of 4 Zealots and 1 DT for 1 drone is not a very good trade. And just look at that fleet of Scourge. Like, Crossy is going to have complete control over this game for quite a while. Just having to keep pumping all of these Corsairs while Crossy can just drone to his heart's content is absolutely devastating.
I wonder if Crossy got air carapace on those Scourge there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Spire finished so quickly that I think the air carapace finished even before a +1 could finish for Corsairs. So yeah, just really, really. Honestly, I think this is kind of just like the natural evolution of like Scourge and Muta builds that Zergs have been doing in ZVP, where they know that if you can really just control the air, you can control the pace of the game.
Well, Crossy losing a huge amount of Scourge there. All of a sudden, these Corsairs are really scary. Look at how many Scourges. That was a full control group, at least of Scourge. Crossy did have a ton. I think he still has more hanging around the map somewhere, but you can see now he's rushing to get off defenses. He's really nervous after losing that many Scourge, and rightfully so.
Yeah, that was not what Crossy wanted to see. Really unfortunate lapse in attention there. Honestly, if he'd just put them on attack move, I think he would have at least caught a couple of those Sairs. But now, I think that's like 9 Corsairs from Dragon. So as long as he doesn't, lose any, he's not going to be losing any air battles for quite a while.
And now Crossy's super on the ropes here. He made mutas here, and I mean the mutas aren't going to do anything with this many Corsairs out. He gets 2 Corsairs, but this is still just a huge amount of Corsairs here. It's like 5 or 6. He can't get any shots off on these mutas. He should just A-move them here, and finally he's going to clean up all the mutas here. He still has a ton of Corsairs left.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think that was a bit of a misstep from Crossy. Like, I understand he thought he was fighting over the spore, so he felt confident. But honestly, I think he should have just kept running around and not tanked the Corsairs there, because the mutas were the only real like strong military presence that he has right now. But he is going straight into Hive. He's not making any Hydras whatsoever. Just going straight for Lings, Adrenal Gland upgrades, and wow, he's already won 1 too with those early 2 Evo Chambers. And he got Burrow as well, just being a little pest and delaying this third. That's kind of interesting. This is I haven't seen this kind of style.
Yeah, definitely going to be really hard to deal with these 1/1 Lings already. You can see Dragon, it only has +1 attack, so these Lings are going to be permanently 3 shots for these Zealots for pretty much the rest of the game. There might be a small gap where they're not, but it's going to be pretty tough for Dragon. He might even be getting armor right now, potentially, which would make him the Lings even stronger. And yeah, I mean, the one, good thing for Dragon is that Crossy's economy, he forced so many Sunkens out. Look at how light the drone count in his natural is. I mean, he just does not have that many drones. His economy's not that strong, but then again, Lings don't take that many resources to spam out.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is that he seems a little undersaturated as natural, unless I was misinterpreting what I just saw on the stream. But I mean, 42 drones isn't terrible. He could definitely have a few more, and I would feel more comfortable with his economy. But all things considered, yeah, his economy is okay. But just 4 drones at the natural. If he just transferred a few from the third, I think he would be in a much healthier position.
He does just have a huge wave of blue running across the map here. He's going to try and shut down the space, but Archons are really good at dealing with Lings here, and there's an Archon with this army. If the Zealots just tank for it, I have a feeling this should get cleaned up pretty effectively.
Yeah, the thing is, those cracklings are very, very strong for sure, because Protoss really needs the +1 to start cleaning up Lings in 2 hits rather than 3 hits with Zealots. But I mean, Dragon just has such a solid army there, a huge amount of Zealots, plus, like you said, the Archon and the 2 High Templar that just stormed a huge amount of Lings going into that small choke. So that was kind of just a huge waste for Crossy. And we can see it reflected in the supplies now.
These Corsairs are still getting huge amounts of value. You can see, look at how many Scourge they're forcing out. Granted, they almost all just died there, but just being super annoying for Crossy, and he's still only on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Dragon's getting up his 3rd base. Dragon's economy is going to skyrocket here. It's going to be super strong, and yeah, you can see his supply is already way far ahead. Crossy needs to make something happen, but he's running out of steam.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for him, honestly. When he lost that air advantage with those Scourge, it really kind of like set this cascade event into place where he's, you see he has a Sunken and a Spore in his main. He had to add Spores at his natural and his 3rd, and just wasting all those drones to make sure that he didn't die right then is really devastating. I mean, his economy is fine now, but like you said, Dragon has 58 probes versus the 44. Crossy is just struggling to find a place to get a 4th. Meanwhile, Dragon is already making his 4th. And with these confined spaces on the map, like, I really don't see how Crossy is going to bust these.
Yeah, I mean, the Filers, Lings under Swarm aren't that much better than Lings not under Swarm because they just have so little HP. And I mean, it's not like Dragon has a big goon army that's, walking around the map. He only has Zealots and Archons. Here's a huge Mula switch. This is kind of interesting from Crossy to see what he can get done here, but those Archons are going to be pretty effective at dealing with both of the composition of this. He's going to go just hard for the Archon with all his Mulas. Probably the best decision here. Probably going to clean it up, but that Archon killed every Ling in the meantime.
Yeah, no, I think the mute switch was very good. I mean, he recognized that he did kill almost all of the Corsairs with his Scourge, but I mean, there are definitely still Corsairs left, and I think Dragon, yeah, it looks like he continued making some more. So he's really just been pumping Sairs so much this game, but it's really paying off, and he's going to scare off those mutas.
I can't. That is like such a good read by Dragon to lose. He only had 4 Corsairs. He loses 1, so he goes back up to 5, so he can still one-shot Scourge, and he's still just what a good read. He knows that Crossy, has been saving gas all game. I mean, now he loses all of them.
Yeah, that was actually an amazing trade by Crossy.
That was really well. I'm still worried that good storms here are going to melt these Mutalisks. You can see. Oh
wow, that was an amazing storm.
There goes those Mutalisks. So all the mutas are gone now, and I would trade all my Corsairs for all the Mutalisks. Obviously, you can make the Mutalisks a little bit faster, but Archons are going to be super effective anyways against.
That was. I just want to go back to that. That was actually amazing. I don't even know if that was intentional or if it was just an accident. But Dragon actually, I thought he was just wasting one storm on the Defiler, but then all the mutas ran into it. So I think it might have been planned. They ran into the tail end of that first storm, and then he just wiped them all out with that final storm. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy. It looks like Crossy's coming across the map with a bunch of links. Crossy, I mean, he's finally gotten that 4th base up, but it's still just such an uphill battle here. I don't think he's... I mean, it's 4 base versus 4 base, and Dragon's army is looking really scary, man.
Yeah, it's 4 base technically, but really it's 4 base versus 3 base for Crossy, because Crossy does not have that 4th base even saturated at all.
Yeah, not up and running yet at all. Big wave of drones should be coming and heading over to it any second, but do you think Crossy's going to try to add like Ultralisks in this game or something? I feel like Mutalisks are not going to work. No Ultra Den. I mean, Ultras are obviously not good against, or not great against Protoss, but
they're not great against Protoss, and they're also not good on this map in particular, I don't think, because there's a lot of small confined pathways. We did see Crossy is researching drop here. Honestly, the crazy part to me is that we haven't seen any lurkers whatsoever. I honestly don't understand that aspect. I can understand going for a hive rush and going for the early upgrade advantage, but just skipping lurkers is really questionable to me, because I just don't see how Crossy is going to ever really secure a lot of bases.
I'm surprised we're still seeing so many High Templar here and not more Archons. Obviously, those 2 storms got mad value, but a lot of these storms feel like a lot of these High Templar feel like they've been getting picked off. And we don't see that many Archons with these armies. So just a little surprising there. But
yeah, it is a little strange. I mean, you'd think with this Ling heavy composition from Crossy, Dragon would be making more Archons, maybe making some Dark Templar to take advantage of the fact that he is putting a lot of money into those Corsairs.
Almost gets the Ultralist done there, but it does stay alive. We can see speed done. That's pretty much what you need to make Ultras effective. And here we go with the huge Doom Drop that is going to be coming. But I think that's going to fly right over a DT. So
oh my god!
If Dragon's paying attention,
wow, at least he
pulls it back very quickly.
I think Dragon still could guess that it's a small drop, but he's at least he won't see that it's like this huge committed Doom Drop. Unless the drone leads him right into it. Oh my god.
The drone is going to lead him right into it.
That is so devastating.
And now the Lings attack the DT, and he sees all those Overlords there, so maybe that doesn't trigger any alarm bells. Dragon's still not moving back to his home base. Maybe he just thought there were Lings up there, but that would be freaking me out.
Yeah, maybe he could think that it was just like Cross was just moving Overlords there for his like expansions or something, but I don't know, man. I would definitely think alarm bells. Okay, he is going to be sending off the Corsairs to catch this, so it should be okay for Dragon, honestly.
Yeah, those poor Corsairs are going to shred those Overlords. I don't think they make it to the base here.
I think some of them will, but yeah, this is absolutely devastating.
4 Corsairs mess Overlords up pretty quickly here, and you can see they're all just dying.
Oh my god.
So, not really getting a lot done.
That is Crossy. I don't know if he should have committed to that. I think maybe he should have just dropped and ran the Overlords.
You're
Uh,
probably losing those overlords either way, but that
yeah.
that is that is pretty rough for sure. And now this base down here at 6 o'clock is doomed. I don't see how Crossy can hold. I saw some ultras moving around, so he does have a big ultra army here. And the one thing I am still worried about is only 2 archons here. If this whole army gets surrounded, like maybe there's a shot. Huge plague on a lot of the units here, which is always nice. A lot of drones going down, unfortunately, for Crossy.
The thing is, even if it does get surrounded, like look at just how narrow these pathways are. Like there's just not that much surface area for the Zerg to surround a Protoss,
Yeah,
which is
these
I really don't think that like this like ultras in general aren't the greatest against Protoss, but they're even worse on this map in my opinion.
and it's looking like this army is going to hold. I mean, Dragon was up 100 supply in Crossy here, so it was a tall order to ask, and it looks like too much there. And this base goes down, and I think with this base dying, Crossy's chances of winning this game are also pretty much dead.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I'm still I don't know. I almost want to talk to Crossy about this build afterwards because I just feel like turtling and lurkers are so effective on this map.
And he does have a huge gas bank here, which would be great for lurkers. So
yeah, and very limited use of defilers. We only saw a couple swarms out. I don't know, man. This is very unusual to me.
he is going to make a wave of Mutilis here, see if he can get something interesting done here. I mean, he does have this top right base finishing up, so if he can just split map, maybe there's still potential to make a comeback here if Dragon doesn't put any pressure on. But I mean, being 100 supply up, I expect him to just move across the map and stomp this base any second here.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon is the type of player that I feel like once he gets a big advantage like this, there's very little chance that he's going to like throw the game. He's known as like a very patient player, very calm and calculating, and a player that almost always aims for the late game. So I really cannot see him dropping this game from this point where he's 110 supply up and just controlling the map completely.
Yeah, and he's going to move right up this base and destroy it. And yeah, there's nothing Crossy can do to stop this. He's got some Mutilis going across the map. I think once he sees the cannons there and knows that there's nothing he can get done there, he'll probably tap out. I mean, that is a lot of cannons.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing those Muses are going to be able to do.
Dragon didn't skimp on the main area either, so.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you're maxed, there's only so much you can spend resources on, right? And static defense is one of those. So you might as well just make sure that your new bases aren't in any danger whatsoever.
Got to respect Crossy for still trying to get something done here, but yeah, this is looking pretty over here. I'm not really sure what else he could attempt to do to win this game. He's going to try and get some High Templar, but like even if he was to kill this whole army, Dragon could just remake it super quick.
Well, maybe we can just pretend that this wasn't played from a replay and just pretend that Crossy is actually trying to like, tire Dragon out for the rest of the series, maybe.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, like it's just a mind game thing, maybe.
Dragon never getting the shield upgrades. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely unforgivable. But Crossy taps out nonetheless. Somehow Dragon just squeaks out with a win when not getting any shield upgrades.
Gets away with murder there.
I can't believe it.
Okay, but so game one.
Very convincing victory from Dragon there, though. Very well played. He was just in. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting opening build for Crossy, but yeah, Dragon just played super safe and he didn't let anything big happen against the mutas, and then he ran away with it. So props to him.
So Revival of Brood War going up 1-0 against Smack Squad right now. These are best of 7, so the ace match is on Polyvoid, but 6 maps before that. So only one game down. Smack Squad can still make that comeback. We will have to see. But yeah, I mean, Dragon played that game really smart. He rebuilt the Corsairs, which I thought was brilliant. That's not something that I would have done. I would have been blindsided by those mutalisks as they kill, my mate and my natural, all my probes, and then I start raging.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think little things like that are what separates Dragon from almost, maybe every other Protoss aside from like a handful of very, very top non-Korean Protosses. Like, I really agree that most Protosses would just be like, okay, you know, the early mid game is when I use my Corsairs, and after that I just like completely disregard them for the rest of the game.
That stage of the game is done. I don't need my Corsairs anymore.
But then again, he was also playing a very different army composition than you usually see in Protoss versus Zerg. Maybe it was just because of the map architecture and so on. Like, he didn't make any goons at all. And maybe it was just because of the confined spaces. Like, there's really not much space for him to go siege down these expansions and everything. So he just wanted Corsairs and Archons for anti-air, and then everything else was going to be High Templar and Zealots, which is a pretty interesting choice for the map, I think.
If you recognized early that it was the Hive Rush, then you wouldn't really want that many goons, expecting Defilers out super quickly, and then obviously, goons aren't that great against slings either, so if you just think he's going adrenal gland lengths, no real reason to get the goons there either. So potentially it was that, maybe we'll have to ask him if he ever gets to a winner's interview, if they win the whole tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll remember that question. Write it down, Keen.
Right. Well, I'm sure we're both correct, actually. I don't think either one of us is incorrect here. Certainly not me. I'm actually never wrong. So,
well, that's good. Spawning in the top left as the teal Protoss, we have Revival Sugo, and in the bottom right as the yellow Protoss, we have Smack Squad Crane.
Yeah. And since this is PvP, I will take a moment to shout out the fact that we are going to be running a Rogue City Rumble 2. I don't know exactly when, maybe a month or 2 months or so after the Turf Wars 2 finishes. But if you are enjoying our North American tournaments, if you're enjoying watching these top North American players face off against each other, and you'd like to see and support another individual North American Star League event, please consider donating.
And also hit that follow button on our stream, guys. We always appreciate the support. We're so happy you guys could be joining us here on a Friday night. We know there's some good baseball games going on right now, so the fact that you're all watching StarCraft means a lot.
Yeah, especially a PvP, which really, PvPs kind of just make me parched. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get a glass of water while you carry the cast.
Sounds good. We have pretty much 2 standard openings going down here so far. Gonna have to see if either of these players want to deviate from the standard here. They both want to go Zealots. Just gonna see cores drop down. PvP is all about scouting and timings, right? You need to know your timings. You need to know when to get buildings and what your opponent should be doing at a certain time. And you need to have really good scouting so you can understand that. And you can see both of them are doing that right now. Sugo still has probe in here. He's checking everything out. We see Zealot probably coming down for Crane. And Sugo, on the other hand, is not going for a Zealot. He's just going to go straight for the Goon. Sugo's able to do this because he can see, that there's no 2 gates here. He knows he can skip the Zealot and still be safe. So he's feeling pretty confident right now and pretty comfortable for sure.
Incredible analysis. Incredible.
Thank you.
It's like music to my ears just listening to you talk about PvP. I wish I could do it all day long.
There's that Zealot that we mentioned for Crane popping out right now. Sugo's going to be able to chase off the probe when that Goon finishes. Something you always want to be checking for is to see if that core starts spinning. So that's what Sugo's waiting around here for. He's waiting to see if that core spins. There, it's finally going. Now he feels comfortable. He's actually leaving the base a little quicker than I think he should, because there is always the famous cancel your range and then drop a Citadel and Templars down right after, but it doesn't look like Crane wants to do that. Just going to play standard. And we should be getting into a standard game here. This is where the builds can really start to deviate, Keen. So this is where you want to pay extra close attention.
Okay.
Okay, now you get to take over.
Well, what do you think I should be paying extra close attention for? Like, what would you be doing in this situation? Say you were Crane, you were in Crane's shoes, and you're the obvious favorite here to win. What would you do?
Well, it depends upon. See, I'm more confident in my macro. I'm not sure what Crane is confident in. I would just play towards whatever I was confident in. Crane right now looks like he might be dropping a couple of gateways up here is what he wanted to do, I think. But Sugo is scouting this, and this is actually really, really bad for Crane because he doesn't have a robo back at home.
Oof.
So he's not teching up. And now, he's going to lose a pylon, so he's going to get supply block. And now he's going to have to go for a 3-gate at home, which he wanted to do 2 proxy gates. But now this is just going to be a delayed 3-gate. So really unfortunate for Crane that got scouted. Obviously, just really good scouting from Sugo. And this is why, when you're playing PvP, you should always have that probe out on the other side of the map, checking what the player's doing, seeing if there's a nexus. But that doesn't mean you want to be passive on your own side of the map. Send your goons around. If you know he doesn't have his goons out on the map, you can scout your side of the map and verify that there's nothing fishy going on.
Yeah. So that 2-gate proxy thing, I feel like I've seen that recently. In fact, I think a friend of mine actually suggested that when I was trying out PvP.
Yeah, there's some really cheesy players out there, Keen, that like to do that. They like to do it against players that are better than them because you can get some cheap wins.
I see.
I would never do it. I'm not a bad person, so I would never do it.
Okay.
I'm an honorable. Everyone knows Just Too Juicy is an honorable Protoss.
That's true. That's true. Everyone knows that. He's actually going for a 4-gate now, and so Sugo, after shutting down that proxy, he's actually going for a 1-gate robo. How do you feel? Like, do you think this all-in attempt is actually going to catch him off guard?
I think, unfortunately, Crane is supply blocked here too. So that 4-gate, I think there's a big stoppage of units here. And the one thing he has going for him is that the observer still isn't left to go straight across the map. I don't see it moving out quite yet. And that's going to be good for him. But the thing about 1-gate robo is you can always just go right back up your ramp and hold with the Reaver, right? He should have a Reaver on the way right now. He didn't drop his Nexus down super quickly. So if he wants to, he can just retreat right back up his ramp, get that Reaver, and he should be safe here. You sometimes have to pull a couple of probes, but if you micro it properly, you'll still be ahead at the end of the exchange. I don't like the decision not to send this probe across or this observer across for so long. And this is a little scary because if the Reaver gets jumped on right away, that can also be dangerous. So he needs to be on top of his Reaver control here. You can see Crane jumping in already. He's going all out for the Reaver, but it's not that clean because there's getting so many free shots on the goons here. And you can see the Reaver got 2 huge scarabs. So now it looks really good for Sugo, but there's still a lot of goons here. But that Reaver got so many hits, man. And yeah.
That's not how you want a fight like that to go for Crane, I think.
The scary thing here is with 4 gateways, you can still be caught off guard by the reinforcements, right? So really? Sugo needs to be careful because there should be 6 goons showing up, but with that second Reaver now finally getting there, it looks a lot safer.
Yeah, and there's actually not 6 goons showing up either.
Yeah, there's not. So his goons were not all being reinforced at the same time there, and
very unfortunate, but GG. Good, nice try from Crane.
Sugo playing that really well.
Really solid.
Kept that alive for so long, and able to take the quick victory there. And I think the 4th gateway is sort of in my mind that looks like I screwed up my proxy gateway got caught. I'm too far behind to just go for like a robo expand. I'm too far behind to just drop my Nexus, so now you need to go extra all in, and that's why you drop the 4th gate there. And I don't think it was the correct decision as we saw.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Thank God PvP is over, so we will be moving on to our next matchup, which will be the first team melee of the night. It will be Dragon and Tim against Crossy and Whip.
Can we go back to the thank God PvP comments over? Like, did you get how much fun I was just having there?
Oh, I'm glad you were having fun.
You were like adding in so much, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's my job, right?
Well, is this really your job?
Yeah, I'm full time.
You're full time and you only cast one day a week?
Well, I spend a lot of time preparing for these casts.
Oh, that's true. You got to go over the stat books and all that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of prep.
So, yeah, I mean, Team Melee, Keen, tell us a little bit about what it is. Tell us how it's played.
Oh,
And the
so,
rules.
well, all right. It's two players on one team controlling one race. If you're living under a rock and you haven't watched any of our previous casts or ever played StarCraft, so
So, is it like macro, micro?
yes, it's like macro micro, which you also wouldn't know if you were unfamiliar with StarCraft.
I think everyone, from all esports knows what macro, micro is, but no one's heard of Team Melee before.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Uh, yeah, so it's like macro, micro for anyone that wants to know. And
But you don't have to macro micro. I mean, you can divvy up the duties any way you want. That's the beauty of it.
that is the beauty of it. I like to control 2 drones, and I like my teammate to control 2 drones. And then we divvy out each drone as they pop out,
That
one
way
at a time.
you can make sure the mining is very very efficient.
Well, if you don't do mineral boosting, then why even play the game?
Well, that's how I feel. I mean, if my pool is off by even a second, I actually just quit. That's something that I learned from the great minds of the North American Zerg community. Crossy, Hawk, Striker, they all tell me, if I can't get my pool down by 1 minute and 15 seconds, I should just uninstall the fucking game. And those are words that I live by.
I mean, to be fair, that is the first building. So
Yeah,
if you can't get the first building done on time, something did go wrong.
yeah, exactly. But well, we'll have to see if so. Dragon and Tim are playing Protoss, which they don't have to worry about like worker optimization because they have the fastest workers in the game. But let's see if Jayun and Whip, who are going to be playing Zerg, if they're going to be able to get their buildings on time.
Now, do you know the results of our previous Team Melee tournaments here, Keen? Who's been good? Who's been bad? How both these teams been doing in Team Melee?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay, let me go take a quick gander over at Wikipedia. I'll do our hard cutting research real quick.
I'm actually going to be right back while you do that because now, after all that water that I drank last game, I have to go to the restroom.
Okay, taking a look, guys. It looks like Revival of Brood War, lost, won, lost, and won. So they went like 2 and lost all their others. So not that great. Smack Squad, on the other hand, they lost, but then they won. No, I take that back. They lost, and then they lost, and then they lost again. Then they won. Okay, guys. So it's like 2 wins for Smack Squad too. So these teams are actually perfectly balanced in terms of Team Melee. So this is going to be exciting. As the Pink Protoss, we have Team Revival. And as the sort of gray Zerg, we have Team Smack Squad. And yeah, this is pretty exciting. We're gonna see Polypoid here. Everyone's probably pretty familiar with Polypoid. Classic map. It's like the new Fighting Spirit, the new Circuit Breakers. Everybody loves it. Yada yada yada. Moving on.
Do you love it?
Yeah, I think Polypoid's a good map.
Dude, do you think Jayun and Whip aren't playing on voice? What is this? I thought TT1 was the only one who didn't play on voice.
Maybe he's talking to Pseudo. Maybe he's talking to the other team.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Even though Whip is the only one who's replying.
I feel like, it's pretty normal to not unpause if someone pauses the game in a serious event, right?
Yeah. I actually wasn't reading what they were saying.
Maybe they don't have mics yet, or if Jane just moved, he might not have set his up.
Yeah, maybe. How do you feel about the? Okay, so they were dude. They got scattered instantly. Obviously, the Protoss is going forward first. It's actually surprising me because okay, the meta ended up being like just go forward first every game because if you go gate first, you're just going to get ripped to shreds by the one guy who's controlling lings only. So it's surprising me that Whip and Jaeyoon decided to commit to this 12 hatch. Now it's just gonna be hell for them to get that hatchery down. They have to go 12 pool, which is very, very unfortunate.
They're not even going to bother. They're just going to go 12 pool. And look at this. Tim, he knows it. He can get away with dropping that Nexus down. So that's what he's going to do. He's just going to drop the Nexus down before putting his Forge down. And okay, he's going to put the Forge down, and then he's going to drop the Nexus after that. He did go up to 14 probes, so it would have been a little bit close to drop the Nexus first.
Yeah, well, I think, they saw that it was 12 pool. I don't know if Dragon or Tim know the exact timing for 12 pool because it is kind of an unusual ZVP build, but I think it's better safe than sorry to just err on the side of caution and make sure you get the cannon up.
Little trick for all the Protoss players out there: if the pool is just turning like 3/4 done, then your Forge will be in time if you start it. 3/4 of the way finished, if you start your Forge, you're in time on most maps, unless it's like super close rush distances. But on Polypoid, you'd be fine.
Interesting cannon placement, but I mean that's really good. One of the things I find really interesting about Dragon is that he always places that cannon, like he places his gateway out a little hex further than most Protoss, just so it's like added security against a 3 hatch.
I see a lot of pros do this too. Keeps your Forge alive. I mean, only in this position on Polypoid, you don't normally see this, but keeps your Forge alive. Hopefully, so you don't lose that +1 if there is a 3 hatch. Hydra Bust, I would be surprised if they went for that on this game, but it's always possible. Team Melee, I guess going for a 3 hatch. See, this is the interesting part about Team Melee is you always try to see like what strats can you optimize the best, like to really mess up your opponent, because you can really micro those Hydras pretty well in Team Melee. Maybe you can get the win super quick, but
yeah, but I don't know. I do feel like there is a little bit of a limit to the sort of like 3 hatch Hydra micro. I mean, first of all, the scouting should also be immaculate from the Protoss, right? So, if they have one person scouting with the Corsair and just keeping a very, very close eye on all the Hydras that are being produced, like theoretically, the Protoss team should have like a perfect reaction with the perfect amount of cannons and everything. And with this kind of interesting wall that Dragon did, I feel like 3 hatch Hydra is going to be a little limited, but we'll have to see.
well, that's what they're dropping down at least. It looks
Yep.
So we're going to see if they can get anything done here. But yeah, like you said, that cannon is actually, or those cannons, he already has 2. So they're suspecting something. You don't drop a second cannon that quickly unless you think there's trouble. I mean, he did see a bunch of lings too. So
he had to drop it because of the 6 lings.
But regardless, he's definitely going to be feeling a little uncomfortable. Never saw a layer or anything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see or to see them try to get some kind of scouting information here. He's sending 2 zealots across the map right now. These Zerglings are just trying to be annoying. They also, make the Protoss scared to send the zealots across. You don't want to just waste them if there's a bunch of lings waiting out here.
And we see the Zerg is making Hydra now.
So yeah, here they come.
And very unfortunate, despite the fact that just one player is focusing completely on the macro, there is still a idle drone.
Always gotta pay attention to stuff like that.
It's always so disheartening when like you're just like macroing, concentrating on the game and everything, and then like something clicks in your brain, like, wait a second, I don't have quite as much resources as I should have in this situation. Then you like look back and you're missing a drone on gas, or one of your drones is idle right by a mineral. And it's just like, you get this sinking feeling in your stomach. I'm the dumbest person in the world. Everything I do is a fucking disaster.
Yeah. I think supply blocks are what kill me the most. This is a lot of Hydras already coming across the map. They do have speed, but like it's been read pretty well. This is 4 Zealots. I think he should be able to hold here, but it's still scary. Always scary when the Hydras first show up. You never know if you're going to be quite okay. But this time he should be totally fine. And yeah, good read by. I mean, I don't know who's macroing. I would assume Dragon and Tim's microing, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, you can kind of tell by the little vision windows that you see in the minimap. So
yeah. Okay. It does look like Tim is the one microing then there. So
we see that Team Zerg is making more Hydras.
Okay, so it looks like it sounds like they want to go for a really big bus here, all-out bus. But this is so many cannons, 6 cannons, and that many zealots. It's going to be super hard to break. We'll have to see. And you know, if he sees the Hydras getting made, they're going to know they need more cannons as well. But you know, Tim's doing a full sky here. I imagine he's telling Dragon and Tim obviously have comms, so they should be, you know, if they're a well-oiled machine, should be communicating what's popping out of those larvae there. And yeah, I mean, this is a lot of gateways already up. I don't see these Hydras busting this anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm honestly confused as to why they're making more Hydras. I mean, they do have the 4th hatchery up and a 5th hatchery on the way. It will be a while before the 5th hatchery is up. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, do you think it's a good idea for them to continue Hydra production at this stage, or should they have just powered harder on drones and tech for a little bit?
I definitely think they should have powered harder on drones. Now they're in this awkward position where it's like, you need to make Hydras because look at how many gateways are up, and there's going to be this big zealot timing that's coming, you know. So if you don't make Hydras, you might just get rolled by that zealot timing. But at the same time, your economy is so bad right now that you want to make drones.
Yeah. I mean, as we saw Sudo just point out, that they have 8 drones in the main and like 4 drones mining minerals at the natural. They do have like 11 or 12 drones at the 3rd, but that's their only base that's very well saturated. Everything else needs, drones badly. So they are droning up now, but that's like you said, it should have been like a minute ago or a minute and a half ago. They made like a round of Hydras when they should have made a round of drones, and
they're look at how many zealots. Yeah, this is
that is a lot of zealots.
Huge army of zealots. This is more zealots than there are Hydras on the map right now. And yeah, I mean, speed's about to finish here, and this is super scary. Good thing is, Tim's chasing here instead of just going for the natural. I think I would have just right-clicked my zealots across the map here. But Tim thinks he can clear up all these Hydras, and if he can, this is really huge if he just cuts them off on the other side here. Already getting good damage done. I mean, these Hydras are not going to be long for this world. They can't win this fight, obviously. This is too many zealots.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's going to kill these Hydras, but I do agree with you. I think tracing them is a little bit of the incorrect decision there. I mean, it's kind of a win for them either way, but it would have been a bigger win if he just went for the base.
Tim might be waiting to get to see if he can get these High Templar across the map. Obviously, doing the High Templar push is always a little bit risky, especially on a map or on a team melee one where it's even harder to keep all your units alive because, you know, you have one player constantly trying to snipe High Templar and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, I don't know, now they're kind of on the back foot again because while they still have a very strong supply lead, they're starting to make goons. Yeah, the goon range isn't quite finished yet, and that was a really nice micro from Whip there, picking off a couple, well, just one High Templar, it looks like. But also microing very well out of those storms. The storms, there was 2 storms, I think, that went down, and they killed almost nothing. So just kind of running circles around this small army from Protoss here. They really need more Dragoons to kind of neutralize the threat of these Hydras coming in and sniping High Templar, I think.
Whip kind of looks like he wants to go for a big attack here. This is looking a little scary. This is not a huge army for the Protoss. If he gets on both sides here, he can sandwich his force really well. Tim's getting cut off here. They're trying to take the space so early on in the game. It's only 10 minutes in. It's not like they have some huge, overwhelming army right now. And you can see this whole army is just getting melted. How does this army ever get back up on this high ground, man?
Yeah, that army is not long for this world. I think they kind of really misinterpreted the way this game was going. They kind of dropped the ball on the scouting. After the 3H Hydra was kind of wrapped up, I don't know if they lost the Corsair or they just stopped scouting with it. I assume they lost it, but
I think it's bottom left still. Yep.
oh yeah, so they really should have kept scouting and identified what the Zerg was actually doing. But they are cleaning this up nonetheless.
They do clean it up. They did force a cancel on the base there, so it wasn't absolutely horrible by any means. But when all said is done and done, Team Revival does have a pretty huge supply advantage over Team Smacks. Team Smacks trying to get up that fourth base. If they can, they'll be in a decent spot. These lurkers are going to need to pop here in time, and I'm not sure they are. But thankfully for Team Smacks, Team Revival backs off.
Yeah, see, well, honestly, I think that last attack where the Zerg got onto the high ground with the lurkers, I feel like they're almost, maybe not quite, but almost all in. They were really banking on this 3 base big army and like kind of early lurkers to really catch the Protoss off guard. And they did do some damage, but I don't think they did enough damage. Their economy is kind of in shambles right now. They are kind of fully saturated now. Their fourth base is just getting up, but really they wanted this full drone saturation and this fourth base to be getting up like 2 minutes ago.
Whip is doing a great job microing the Zerg this game. He's gotten so many free high Templar here, and I think he's really keeping them in this game. He also did a great job with that sandwich attack, but they're still in a rough spot here. They don't, like you said, they were banking on that attack, kind of ending the game almost. And their economy is still pretty weak, even after getting the fourth base up. They still need more time to recover.
Yeah, but we see even Jaeyoon kind of realizing it in the allied chat that he's talking with Whip, saying something along the lines of like, we need to end here or die trying. But I don't think they're going to be able to end it anytime soon. I don't think they have nearly enough, even production. They're only on 6 hatcheries when really they should have like 9 right now, I think.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to have that overwhelming Hydra force if they want to contend with this army from Team Revival, and they just don't have it yet. I mean, more like they're gearing up for a defensive play here by taking the high ground, but you can see
they don't even have +2 Hydra weapons yet. So really, I don't know what kind of power spike they're looking for here. Like you said, Whip is doing an amazing job just picking off High Templar with small groups of Hydras, but that kind of guerrilla warfare is not going to win you the game.
Yeah, you need to have something more going for you. And I mean, here comes if they push right now, but I mean, Jaehoon is really pushing for the attack. There's a huge drop.
Go Doom, yeah. They're going for a Doom drop here. Is there even anything in those? There must be. You go to main. Okay. Good advice. Solid.
And you can see that they're trying to bust here. They don't have a lot of High Templar, so it's like they don't have a huge amount of storms to bust this high ground here, but there's still just so much, and all of a sudden the micro's slipping a little bit. I think there's some confusion on who's microing where, and
let's see if this drop does the damage that they needed to, because this third is going to just get absolutely steamrolled. I feel like if they go into a base trade situation, they're going to lose here. This is already getting wiped out with just a paltry number of units.
Probes good work on those lurkers there, messing them up, and the fourth base gets absolutely rolled, and this is over.
They do have some lurkers that they tap out. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, well played. That was an interesting game. Very, very, very well microed by Whip. I'm really impressed by Whip's micro there, but the Zerg team, I think, just was a little too aggro.
Yeah, just a little too aggressive. And this is the potential last game here, right?
Yeah, Revival is up 3-0 so far.
Team Smack, can they save their tournament life here? They need a big win, and unfortunately, it's going to be played by a replay here. So we're all going to find out together whether or not this is going to continue.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we will have for like you said, our potential final match. It will be Tim playing for Team Revival against Jaeyoon playing for Team Smacks. Jaeyoon in the top right corner of Hidden Track, Tim in the bottom right corner. Yeah, honestly, this is a really interesting match. This could go either way, I think.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, Jaeyoon's probably a little favorite here, but if Jaeyoon has been busy this week and hasn't had enough time to practice, Tim is definitely more than capable of taking games off Jaeyoon. So very excited to see who wins this game.
I mean, I don't want to be selfish here, but I kind of hope Jaeyoon wins just so we can see more games. But I mean, speaking as a player on the first place team, Team Dogecoin Millionaires, led by Hawk, honestly, it doesn't matter to me who wins anyway because we're going to crush every team and win the finals.
Good luck there. We have our observer rooting for Team Scarves here. Dogecoin Millionaire, the nobody's favorite team, that's for sure.
Wow.
A bunch of conceited, jerks on that team only talk about themselves.
I can't believe it. I thought we were your favorites. I thought we had something special.
Except for TT1, that guy's a Chad gamer. No, I'm just kidding. I love all the teams equally. I'm a completely unbiased caster. So yeah,
I'm also a completely unbiased caster.
But you do hate, Protoss and Terran players.
Yeah, and also all the other teams except for mine. And also all the Zerg players other than me.
Okay, so really you're just rooting for yourself?
Other than that, though, I'm completely unbiased.
That's always good. We see Tim dropping a cannon down here. He didn't actually go for a double sky here, so he has to drop the cannon before his Nexus. But we can see on the other side of the map, Jaeyoon is going for a 12 hatch, so big economic advantage here for Jaeyoon. The Nexus is just getting dropped down after the cannon there. That's really delayed, and Jaeyoon's feeling pretty good about this for sure. Once he scouts it, he hasn't scouted it yet, so he's probably not feeling that great yet. But he would be feeling good if he knew what was happening on Tim's side of the map.
Yeah, man. I just keep thinking about pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
Something about this game.
Zerg kind of looks like a pizza, like a hatchery with a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, and I mean Tim is red, which there's a lot of red stuff on pizza. There's tomato sauce, there's pepperonis,
cheese.
Yeah, which isn't red, but man, I fucking want pizza.
Tim getting the full scout off here. We have a couple of lings running across the map, but that cannon's already done. And yeah, just standard game here so far. Keen, what do you think Jaeyoon's got cooked up for us? Is he going to go for a layer or is he going to go for Hydras?
I feel like Jaeyoon has been a little cheesy knucklehead recently. He had his like JY2 phase where he was taking after Tai 2, one of the preeminent North American Zergs. But he's getting his lair. So we're probably not going to see any kind of crazy like 3-hatch Hydra. Maybe he will just end up going straight into a normal kind of 3-hatch Spire, 5-hatch Hydra sort of thing. I do think that Jaeyoon has taken games off of top foreign Protosses like DeWalt recently, but okay, so he is going for a Hydra Den. Yeah, I was going to say maybe he thinks. I do think he is a little favored against him, like you said. So maybe he was just going to go for a straight macro game, but I don't know. This early Hydra Den, it could be either kind of a just a little fake out with the early layer, or it could be some kind of some like early Hydra drop or early Lurker drop potentially.
Well, it's definitely scary for Tim if it goes unscouted here. I mean, I guess it could technically even be to just stop the first Corsair. Although that would be very early, and you can see he's making a lot of Hydra. So yeah, I think he's actually going to try to bust here. If this goes unscouted, this could potentially do a lot of damage here. I mean, that is a very late Hydra den, so I'm not sure if these Hydralists will get across the map before that first Corsair pops and is able to save the day, but only one cannon down.
Yeah, he will. He's not going to add any cannons because he scouted the lair and everything, so he thinks he's totally safe. Coming out with these zealots is pretty scary too. That Corsair, man, this is actually really scary. I think this is actually pretty, really interesting kind of a Thresh Hydra, where like he let Tim see exactly what he wanted him to see. So Tim isn't adding any extra cannons. He thinks he's totally fine, but he's in for a rude awakening when he scouts that it's just this 3-hatch Hydra. These Hydras are going to be knocking on his front door already.
Like getting caught so out of position here. You need those zealots to buy time for your cannons here. With them getting caught out of position, it looks so hopeless. Look at how many Hydras that is. They're going to be right on top here. We don't have a quick enough probe pull here. Obviously, Tim caught completely off guard. And yeah, the cannon's being targeted down by Hydras, and once that cannon goes down, there is no hope here. This is going to be a quick one for JY.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Tim, but really well played by Jaeyoon with just controlling the scouting and the flow of the game completely.
That's why one of the most important things you can do with that first Corsair, obviously flying it right across to scout, but a lot of the times you'll see pro players fly it right in the path where Hydralists would be walking as well, just so you get even quicker timing there. Obviously, you can imagine if Tim had flown it that way, he sees the Hydras even 5 seconds sooner, you get those zealots back home, you drop the cannons a little bit quicker, maybe you have some kind of hope to hold there.
Well, we are going to keep going on in this series. Maybe we can see Team Smack Squad actually bring it all back with a reverse sweep. That would be crazy. It will be
absolutely crazy.
Will be our second team melee of the night.
Do we know what this is going to be in terms of race?
So originally it was going to be Crossy plus Crane, but like I said, Crossy couldn't play tonight, so it will be Jaeyoon and Crane, and I believe Jaeyoon and Crane will be playing Protoss against Dragon and Sugo's Protoss. So,
okay, a PvP finally. What everyone has been waiting for.
Yeah, my favorite matchup personally. I just can't wait to see another PvP.
Well, I've got good news for you, Keen. It's about to happen. Any second now.
We'll be on Eclipse. How do you feel about 2-player maps in PvP?
It's interesting because there's a lot more cheeses that you can do on a 2-player map, right? Like if you think...
Oh, really?
Yeah, just start thinking about it, Keen, and you know how you can know where the other opponent spawns. That allows you to do a lot more interesting cheeses.
Like proxy gates?
Yeah, like proxy gates. So I hate it because people cheese the fuck out of me, and I'm an honorable Protoss that just wants to play. No going after each other's probes. We macro up a nice little army, and then we A-move each other. And the best A-mover win. And these motherfuckers keep making gateways in my base or out in my natural, and I swear to God, if I see it one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Well, I hope you don't lose it, but I have to ask: are there any other interesting cheeses, or is there just the one?
So you can do like proxy gates. You can do like tons of interesting like different scouting tricks you can do, or like mind games you can do on 2-player maps, right?
That sounds really interesting.
Like you can scout way later if you want to. You can, I don't know, there's tons of different things you can do. It changes the whole dynamic.
That's so interesting.
I can't go into a whole history lesson here for you, dude. Why don't you go back to 2007 Brood War and watch it yourself, man? Why do I always have to hold your hand?
You know, I just think you're just such a great teacher.
You know how much research I've done for this cast? Years. And now you're putting me on the spot here. In front of all these fans, you know, and the research, it just went out, the fucking door.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. I'm sorry that happened to you.
It's okay, man. Sometimes you just have performance issues, you know? You got to get over those.
Yeah, I've been seeing a therapist for that.
Seriously?
No,
How long has that been going on?
I lied. I'm not actually seeing a therapist for that.
Okay. Enough stalling. I think we're about to get into the game here. This is exciting, man.
I can't wait.
Who do you think's going to win?
Well, revival. What about you?
I think Revival's going to absolutely destroy this game. They, have two very PvP. Well, I guess Dragon doesn't play that much PvP, but he's very talented with Protoss Micro. And Sugo is like a PvP master. I think it's like his best matchup. Whenever I watch his stream, he always crushes in it. Um, so yeah, I think it's going to be Dragon and Sugo. I mean, Crane, obviously a good Protoss player, but he's definitely not on Dragon or Sugo's level. And JY, obviously a good Protoss player, but he's more of like a really good macro player. I'm not sure if he's the most knowledgeable about Protoss builds. And knowing Protoss builds is most important in PvP, obviously, because that's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the
So
dynamic changes the most.
do you think Crane is going to be the one who's like doing the build for Team Smacks? I feel like Crane actually like talks about PvP almost like too much. In fact, not almost too much. He talks about way fucking too much. Like I go onto these, I go into like Jayen's Discord, I go onto like Stram's Discord and stuff, and I see Crane and all these fucking clowns just talking about PvP all day, like, and just like, oh, should I build my second gateway at 21 supply or 22 supply? Like, dude, who gives a fuck? It's just PvP. Stop talking about it so much.
Interesting take. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to be the one doing the build. I think was the original question here. I think JY might want to do the build simply because he's overall got stronger mechanics. But maybe not. He says scout, so now it makes me think that he's the one with the scouting probe.
Crane is definitely the one wearing the pants in this relationship.
So Crane is going to be doing the build. Interesting. I want to see what build he decides because, yeah, like you said, Crane is pretty knowledgeable about PvP. I've seen him talking on plenty of strategy discords where all us big brains go to, collect our ideas and formulate the new meta for Protoss. And yeah, he's in there frequently enough, talking about the game. So yeah, I think could know some pretty interesting builds here. I want to see what he decides to whip out here.
Honestly, like I don't think it's bad for Jaeyoon to be on micro either, because I mean Jaeyoon has sick mechanics, and like you said, his Protoss overall is really good. Like his macro and everything is really good, but he is a Zerg player at heart. Obviously a turncoat who plays mostly Protoss now, but I mean he's definitely not as experienced, so he's not going to know the little nuances of this very, very interesting matchup that we have here on our hands.
So far, both players playing pretty standard here. We have the first Zealot popping out up top here. Both of them going Zealot first. It's a little bit scarier to skip your Zealot on a two-player map, just because, Zealots can get across the map pretty quickly here, and you're always going to have a scout in your base. So if someone drops like a pylon down, you want a Zealot to be able to kill it. And yeah, just going for range on both of them. And yeah, both playing completely standard here. Wonder when these probes are going to leave here. The Goon's going to be popping out soon. And you can see, might be too late. That Goon's going to pop any second, but it looks like they just get away in time.
Wow.
Slippery like a snake, JY says as he skirts off there. And yeah, it looks like so far standard game. I want to see what their builds are going to be. We still haven't seen. This is like the deciding point here. We should either see a Robo or more gateways get thrown down. If it was going to be like a Citadel, we would have already expected that. So it shouldn't be anything like DTs by either player. there's a robo for Team Smacks, and I'm guessing we're going to get a robo here from Sugo. Sugo loves his like one gate robo, and he thinks it's really strong in this map. He talks about it a lot whenever I've seen him stream. I've seen him play PvP on this map. He thinks it's a good map for one gate robo. And so that's what that's what we're getting so far. If we were going to get 3-gate from either of them, which is what they, is one of the 2 follow-ups, we should see those gates dropping down here too pretty quickly. And since neither of them are dropping gates, well.
So why is this map in particular good for 1-gate robo?
Yeah, because it has a really tight choke here, as you can see at the natural. So it makes it very difficult to bust through there. Sugo playing a little bit more safe here, dropping down the second gateway very quickly here. He's not going to be going for an expansion right away, or I mean, as quick. Oh my god, that's so annoying. That's trapped, and he doesn't notice it yet. I would just give up.
Really?
No, not really. This is an important game.
Maybe they're going to use it for like stacking something.
Observers?
Yeah. Observers are best when they're stacked, right?
Yeah, you want to have all your observers stacked.
In one place.
Yeah. Then when your opponent goes Corsairs, they get all your observers. You distract them.
Well, yeah, but you can hide better if they're all in one place, right?
Yeah, like down to the bottom right. They never check there with their Corsairs.
Yeah.
They're hunting. You can see this is the difference here. This is pretty scary because Sugo's probably going to be making a Reaver and a Shuttle and pushing across the map here. So they're going to have a strong timing against this one base play by Team Smacks. So, and like the Robo Bay is a little delayed here, so they don't even have a Reaver on the way yet. They probably went 2 Observers to start here, which is also going to mean that this timing by Team Revival is going to be even stronger. Team Revival is going to throw down their own base here, but once they get a Reaver and a Shuttle here, we'll have to see if they want to wait for 2 Reavers, but their timing here is going to be a lot of goons, and it's going to be scary, man.
I don't know. Like, I feel like Team Smacks is actually in a pretty good spot here, though. Don't you think? I mean, they have the they are kind of backing away now. I was going to say they're going to have that high ground advantage. They're going to be able to like delay the army from Sugo.
Yeah, I mean, they should definitely hold that high ground. They are going to have an economic advantage, right? So like if this can hold for them for a long enough time, they'll be in a good spot here. But the scary part is, when that timing hits, are they going to be able to have enough troops to hold here? They're still only on 1 gateway. They haven't added a second gateway yet. They need to have, that big explosion, but...
Mm-hmm. Man, I gotta say, I'm actually I'm really happy that these 2 players are unable to communicate through voice, because it's just such a treat seeing this window into this elite gameplay of these 2.
So we're going to get a full scout here. This is when they're finally going to see just how far behind they are on their base. Obviously, you can click on the natural and see, like the mineral tells you. That's how you get a good guess for how far behind. So you're probably like a minute behind if it's already 100 minerals down like that. Still only 1 gateway added. These feel like late gateways for sure, but maybe I just don't know my timings well enough anymore.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that, because we saw JU questioning Crane, like, hey man, should we be like adding gateways here? And Crane's just like, soon.
Yeah, I mean,
like, what is the reasoning?
You can definitely like get away with adding gateways later if you're going to add a bunch, but I feel like this is maybe waiting too long, because he was on just 1 gateway for so long. Normally, I'd like to be like, my mid-game timing is 4 gateways, 2 Reavers, and a Shuttle. I'm just constantly pumping, and then I like to be aggressive off that. But he's got Speed Shuttle, so that's one of the big differences here. So he was getting Speed Shuttle this whole time, and that does make a huge difference. But it flew right over an Observer. So if these Speed Shuttles get picked off, that's definitely not going to be good. But so far, not noticed. Looks like he's finally moving the goons down there. And he sees it again.
Damn, that's rough. Oh my god.
And he sees it again.
That's amazing scouting, though. Just amazing vision.
So I'm surprised that Team Revival is being so passive here. They should know the goon timing here. They still have opportunities to move across the map. This is scary here as this speed shuttle gets in, and it could get a lot of damage done. Oh my god!
Ooh, nice. That's so tragic.
This will definitely prompt a move out for Team Revival here.
That was just one Reaver, right?
Just one Reaver in the speed shuttle, but I think that's, still... Oh, it's going to be scary. They stayed on one gateway for so long. This was such a greedy build. They went one gateway, Nexus, speed shuttle, finally added another gateway. So they have such... you're constantly pumping from that one gateway, but you're still probably like 6, 7 goons down here. And they don't have a shuttle quite yet. So it's really scary. This is a huge push coming. I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold.
They do have defender's advantage, and they do have 2 Reavers. So I don't know. I think they can survive this, no?
It's going to be a close fight here. It depends upon how the micro is. The goon count's closer than I thought.
Team Smacksquad's Reavers goons are really clumping up, though, and the Reavers are kind of lagging behind a little bit, I feel like. Oh my god.
They weren't shooting there for a second. Now it's looking pretty decent, but you can see not the huge goon advantage, but a big goon advantage still coming out in favor of Team Revival. They just were pumping from those 2 gateways for so long. A little bit of a sloppy micro fight here. I don't think he's going to be able to finish it off. I think if they had microed that cleaner, if those Reavers hadn't lagged behind, like you said, if they had been shooting the whole time, and, if he had followed up sooner with that, he would have been able to maybe push on through. Now it's looking a little scary because he's got 2 speed shuttle with 2 Reavers in it flying across the map, and that's always intimidating.
Is it safe for him to go take this?
No, it's not safe. It's really dangerous. But he's
Yeah,
going to do it.
I didn't think it was, but they're doing it.
And it's going to work because this goes completely unscouted. The pro's now finally going to get seen. He's pulling them.
Very nice reaction time.
Yeah, if you only have to pay attention to one thing on the map, you should be able to pull your probes pretty quickly. This is so scary going into the main.
Oh,
JY just playing crazy, man, going all out for him.
He is absolutely insane.
And he loses the shuttle there. So now these Reavers are going to go down. They're going to do work here because they're 2 Reavers and there's not a lot of units here. They kill Zealots really quickly. Oh my god, all those pros in the main are so close. That if they just walk over there,
they're so slow.
Oh my god, that one Reaver's taking a shot. That's killing all those probes. All those probes are going to die.
I think it's going to die.
Oh, it does, dude. That is so unfortunate. That should have been like 7 probes right there, dude.
They do have a pretty sizable supply advantage, though.
Yeah, you have to... This is still... Look at how much mining time they're losing in the main and stuff. Like, this is really good. And losing Reavers, it sucks, but it's not like... You can just keep pumping Reavers, and you should be able to build 2 Reavers pretty quickly again.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but, you don't really want many more than 2 Reavers, right?
It just... you can... It gets really hard to micro them, though. So they go way down in value. The good thing about having 3 Reavers is you can then lose 1 Reaver trying to get probes and sniping probes in the main, It's
right. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think they are in the clear now, and they are getting their 3rd up way faster. So I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think Smack Squad is going to be able to take this, maybe.
Yeah, it's starting to look really nice for them. They have the speed shuttle, which is a huge advantage just going as the game goes on, right? You constantly have to worry about speed shuttle. It looks like they just got a big shot in the natural, but at the same time, a big shot in their own net. Duds on both of them. This is always the tense part of PvP. But this looks really bad for Team Revival. Now they're way down in supply. They still aren't defending against this potential speed shuttle drop in the natural here. And these happen so quickly that even if it's just one person microing, if you take your eyes off it for just a second, look at how quickly the shuttle gets in there. Instantly shooting off shots, you just target something like the Nexus or the gas, and you're going to get a couple of probes usually.
Just one probe there, unfortunately. Is it right to drop the Reaver behind the minerals? I feel like that's just a recipe for dud scarabs.
While you probably don't get quite as many connects if you drop it behind the minerals. It also is easier for your shuttle to escape then. So
Yeah,
it all depends.
yeah, that's
If
fair.
you
That's
think
fair.
if you catch them completely off guard, or you think they're not going to look back, you do sometimes when I drop into the mineral line.
Can we talk about this move out though? Because dude, they know because of the speed shuttle that this army is all disjointed. I kind of love this, but I don't know. Are they going to actually get kind of pincered now a little bit, or?
I don't think there's enough here for Team Smacks. They don't have their Reavers here. I don't know what happened to their speed Reavers or their speed
Yeah,
shuttle. But yeah, you need Reavers if you're going to try and bust here. They didn't have nearly enough Zealots to overwhelm them, and no High Templar. And I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like they took a huge, supply drop there. And they do have, still the better tech behind us. They have High Templar out. They're probably getting stormed. They have that third base. But yeah, definitely, I think a little overambitious there. I wonder what happened to that speed shuttle. It just disappeared.
I guess it must have just disappeared into thin air. Who knows what could have happened to it?
Definitely didn't get shot down by goons. That would be crazy.
Yeah, really. I mean, when I saw that, I just like when I saw that attack, I was thinking like, man, there's gonna be Reavers in here. They're just gonna like rip apart Team Revival. But yeah, obviously
Yeah.
Revival must have sniped the shuttle, and that was really surprising.
Well, this is really bad. If these High Templar have storm here, that's going to be and that
really nice storms.
There goes the Reavers, and just look at the supply disadvantage. This looks overwhelming almost for Team Smacks. A power overwhelming, you might say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is actually really impressed me from Team Smack Squad here, though.
I mean, they're doing a great job right now for sure.
We were questioning Crane, his judgment with the late gateways and everything, but I don't know, man. Maybe all that theory crafting on Discord has paid off because this build is crushing it.
Yeah, he barely holds outside his natural, and that's all you need. Once you can make that one hold, you're like you said, you're kind of in the clear, right? And then from there, it's just been Team Smacks all the way. They haven't had any problems whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even like they're not winning any of these engages super one-sidedly or anything. Like I feel like there's been a lot of sort of even or even disadvantaged fights against Team Revival, but like nonetheless they're still just crushing them, which is really interesting to me. These storm drops are doing a little bit of work, killing a few probes, kind of delaying mining and everything, but I mean, look at the supplies. I don't think it's nearly enough.
Yeah, they're trying to be annoying. The one thing about PvP is like if you can just stall it out, right? It's hard to bust through another Protoss sometimes because if they have a really good arc with High Templar and Reavers, and you storm all your units, you can lose the fight really hard. So it can be kind of tough to close it out, but this should be just a good strong timing attack, and then you end this game here. I think if you play the attack correctly.
And with this second cannon, hopefully this harass should be sort of shut down, but
yeah, once you add the cannon there, it sort of becomes like a trade. You always almost have to sacrifice the shuttle and the High Templar in there. So slow shuttles, harass really doesn't have
running straight into all the goons.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And Revival, they're doing all they can. They have they've picked up their own supply here, macroing really, really well to catch up a little bit. I mean, they've closed that gap by, I think, like 20 supply. They're still behind, but
yeah, it's actually a lot closer than it was just a minute or so ago. Losing that shuttle really hurts, and then we can kind of see in the middle of the map like this big ball of the Team Smack Squad getting kind of broken up by the terrain. Maybe Gene is just a little unfamiliar with how to micro around the terrain of this map with this unit composition in this matchup.
This is going to be a really crazy fight. I don't know if Team Revival should be taking it here. They're getting the good arc here because they're getting in quicker, but look at that Reaver. It's getting huge shots off, and you can see the Zealots are melting. But now this gets scary because all of Team Smack's army is just showing up in a line here.
Look at those storms.
So these storms can hit right on top of everything, and yeah, like I said, crazy fight going on here. Looks like it's going pretty well for Team Smacks overall, though. They're starting to clean up, and the units, they just look like there's too much for them.
Really, really excellent storms. I think by both players, but especially Team Smack Squad. They were delayed in getting to the fight. They were kind of across the map, so Revival had the initial advantage, but cleaning up this attack really handily. Very nicely done by Team Smack Squad. And honestly, I think that's can Royal come back from here? I feel like that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin almost.
They're down more supply than they have been all game now. They're down a base. It's always, if you can get some huge storm drops off and kill every probe, there's always a chance, right? But this feels really scary. It feels like a power overwhelming advantage, like I said earlier.
That's
it was
really
so good. I had to bring
a great,
such
a really funny and interesting tagline. Almost as interesting as the PvP matchup itself.
That's going to be mine. I'm going to trademark that.
That's awesome. That's so sick, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to be known for that.
I mean, I love it personally. When can I buy like a T-shirt with that on it?
Yeah, we're gonna set up a Rogues Gallery merch store, and it's gonna say "Just Too Juicy." And it's gonna be a picture of my head, and then it's gonna say "Power Overwhelm."
That's so fucking sick, dude. I'm gonna buy 10 of them.
Hell yeah! And I think Team Smacks is about to win this game here. They're crashing through 5 o'clock. I don't think this base is long for this world. I don't think it can hold. If they wanted to push through, I guess they're going to be a little safe here, and they're not just going to bust right up. I think could be a mistake. I mean, depending upon what they make. I mean, it's kind of a stupid thing to say. It could be a mistake depending upon their next decisions. But basically, I mean, if they don't try to end the game here, I feel like giving Team Revival more time is a mistake. They should be really pressing their advantage here while they can.
Yeah. So, who do you think we're going to be seeing next game? I think it's let's take a look at it. Another very interesting matchup. TVT.
Game 6, right?
Yeah, Game 6. I can't believe it, dude. Are we going to see the reverse sweep?
TVT, who play Whip versus Mars? Okay. Thank you, Pseudo. I was waiting for my co-caster to help me out. And then
for
the Observer, dude?
I forgot that I was casting for a second.
Dude, look at that. And you can see JY and, Crane feeling it.
That's
absolutely pumped that they won this. And now we're going on to Game 6, and this is huge.
Can you imagine talking trash to someone? It's really just disgusting behavior. I can't imagine BMing people.
That's why we don't do it, Keen. We don't have to imagine.
I've never BM'd anyone in my life, and I never will.
Rogues Gallery is an organization that only supports good-mannered players and casters and observers.
That's true. Honestly, I mean, North America is a region that's known for its good manner. So the fact that behavior came out in one of our matches is just absolutely appalling to me.
I thought it was pretty epic, JY. I love it when you get hyped. I love it when players show emotions, dude. I want more of it.
I prefer emotionless automatons. If everyone could be more like Crane, I think we would all be better off.
And we're going to be going on to this next game, which is Whip versus... is this a replay or is this another replay cast?
I guess this is a replay. Apparently everyone was busy this week. So.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's see, what map is that? Ascension. Okay.
Oh, Pseudo said be right back. Big shout out to Pseudo for observing for us. He'll never hear this shout out, but everyone should say thank you, Pseudo, in the chat.
Thank you, Pseudo.
Everyone should also follow the channel and drop us a like on YouTube. I don't know. Do we have a YouTube, Keen?
Yeah, we have a YouTube. Okay, so drop a like and smash that subscribe button.
Hell yeah. And hit that follow button. And if you guys are interested in NA StarCrafts, definitely consider donating to our Rogue City Rumble 2, our next individual league. It's coming up here. We haven't decided an exact date yet, but we are accepting donations for it. We're definitely not just going to pocket the donations. That will happen. We promise. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Keen.
I mean, yeah. You trust. I feel like everyone trusts us, right?
They better. Because we are accepting donations, like I said.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to spend them on like a vacation to Mexico or anything.
Okay. Spawning at 12 o'clock at noon, we have Whip Max, and in the bottom left, as the Red Terran, we have Revival of Brood War Mars.
So, how do you feel about TVT, man?
It's not my favorite matchup. But it's like an advanced form of chess. It's like a chess match. So,
how would you rate it? Like in the out of the 9 matchups, where would it place for you?
Out of the 9 matchups, probably 9th. Are there 9 matchups?
Actually, I was just thinking there are 9 matchups, but it's top 9. It's a top 9 matchup for you. Out of the 6 matchups, I guess.
Yeah, out of the 6 matchups, it's probably the last. It probably comes in last. But with that said, all the mirror matchups are like in consecutive last places. So all the non-mirror matchups are way better than any of the mirror matchups in the game. Not that the mirror matchups aren't, somewhat
still wonderful. Still top 9 matchup.
Hell yeah. Who do you think's going to win this game, Keen?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Whip has been playing a lot of just like non-StarCraft games, like StarCraft 2. So I'm pretty sure his brain is rotting. And I think Mars is going to win, dude.
I don't know. We did see Mars with that huge victory over Father that one week that I casted.
Yeah, he was like, Father had like the craziest advantage, right? In that game, like he had a build order win. He was like way ahead, and then he just like had the mental boom and he gave up. But I mean, like Mars played really well. He stuck in there. He waited it out. Like really, I think he just has to wait Whip out. Like it's only a matter of time until Whip self-sabotages, like all Terrans do, and then Mars can just run away with the victory.
Now, with that said, I think on paper Whip is the significantly higher MMR player, and so he should be in theory favored quite a bit. I think I've seen 3 S-rank accounts of Whip. Last time I checked my ladder friends, which was like 2 days ago, and I don't think Mars has any S-rank accounts. I think he's like very, like a mostly low A player.
Man, imagine not having any S-rank accounts.
I don't have any S-rank accounts either, so I can imagine it quite easily.
Well, okay, I was just trying to sound cool. I actually don't have any S-rank accounts either.
And anyways, my point is, it takes a certain tier of player to be able to get S. Even just to spike into S, you have to be a quality player in some regard. And Whip is definitely, I think his play should be, in theory, a notch above Mars. So I think he's got to be the pretty big favorite here. But that doesn't mean Mars can't still take a game off him. I'm just going to be interested to see how Mars is going to play it out. If he's just going to play completely standard, if there's any nerves going into this or anything like that. A lot of players self-sabotage. When they're playing against someone better, they instantly get too nervous. They think they don't have a chance of winning, and that can definitely play into how they play the game.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I have to say about Mars, I don't remember if I've talked to him about whether or not he gets 20 hours, but I do feel like he's a little more level-headed than like the average Terran player who's just like a complete asshole and tilts off the planet at like the drop of a dime. Like, like a Father, a Jin, a Gypsy, Nartosis, God, there's just so many Terran players who are just completely unhinged, right? But Mars doesn't kind of strike me in the same way.
What race has the most stable players?
Honestly, I have to go with Protoss. I think Protoss players are the most stable.
Shout out to all my Protoss boys in the chat. Hell yeah. Okay, getting back to the game, we have a 2-factory going down here for Mars. They both went for pretty fast expansions here. Mars was a little bit quicker. Meanwhile, Whip's got the add-on going there. His speed, vulture speed, just finished, so he's going to see if he can get some damage done here. He's going to be making a ton of vultures here with his 3 factories, and with the speed vultures here, we should just see rallied vultures. If they can get in to the main here, with only 1 vulture here and not a lot of marines, this is already looking really scary, man. These vultures will just crush. They're in the main all the way. You can see the add-on was getting made there. There wasn't another vulture on the way. It just finished, and he's going to have vultures rallying across the map. Good pull, getting 2 of the vultures, 2 of them killed by SCVs already. It's still scary. There should be more on the way, but... And this is already doing a lot of damage. I mean, this has already been pretty successful by Whip here, so he feels good. He canceled the add-on, so that's super delayed. That means there's not going to be any worry about vultures on, coming from the other side. And now he's got this block. I think there's still a gap there, and he can go through. And I think we may have just lost our feed here.
Yeah, very unfortunate. We should be back online any second now.
And it looks like we are having some technical difficulties here. Please bear with us. This is just a replay cast, so not the biggest of deals if we can't see it. I'm not even sure if...
Did the game crash?
Okay, it looks like it crashed. We can just skip ahead. We're right around the 5-minute mark. And I don't think we're getting sound right now, Suda. There we go.
Okay, very unfortunate. For those who aren't aware, there's like this host of just completely wacky bugs that are present. Thanks to Blizzard, they do still patch the game every once in a while just to make it that much worse for us as a community. So now whenever you click on the eggs, game crashes. But we see Whip in there just getting a ton of SCV kills with these vultures.
Yeah, so like I was saying, he does kill, or he got a ton done with this, right? He got the add-on to get canceled. He's getting a ton of SCVs here. He's blocking here. I think these vultures can get out, so it's not a real block. But if he has more speed vultures coming across the map, this is still scary. Because, speed vultures against not speed vultures, it's just like speed lings against non-speed lings, right? There's just an overwhelming advantage for the units that have speed.
Man, I'm still so tilted by that crash. Like, Blizzard, come on, fucking just fix your game, please. Like, not even any of the games, any of your games, please fix any of them.
Yeah, even just a new map pool would be so nice if we could just get 1 new ladder season here. I don't need changing portraits. I just want new maps, if that's what's causing the delay.
Shout out real quick to Shield Battery, by the way, for being the savior of StarCraft, the savior of the foreign community, doing Blizzard's job for them.
Yeah, but we can talk all day about how Blizzard is not really helping us out right now. But I don't want to distract from the players. This is their moment in the spotlight. So let's keep talking about the game here. We can see that all of them are starting to, we can see a ton of factories getting added here. for both players. More coming down for Mars, but Whip is already going to be adding a second machine shop here. He's going to be adding tanks on really quickly, and he has this huge vulture army that's really scary that's already out on the map. You can see mines all over. He has full scouting. So he's in a really solid position because he just has such good map control. He can take his third base, and he has vision over exactly what Mars is doing.
Yeah, one interesting thing to me though is the fact that Whip did get those SCV kills, but Mars is actually ahead of him in SCVs, and Whip is getting this third command center already. He is going to get that third up much faster than Mars, but still behind in SCVs. It's kind of surprising to me. So I'm wondering if, like, in a minute or two, he's going to start getting kind of out macroed a little bit.
His command center his natural command center was a little bit slower, but you can see he's not even making SCVs right now.
He's been stuck there for a little while now.
He does have this huge vulture advantage because he's just been so good at catching Mars's vultures moving around. Now he's finally adding some more SCVs, but yeah, it's definitely weird to have such late or to stop SCV production so early on. There was only 38 SCVs.
I love this barracks.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of damage. He's actually going to lose it by just keeping it there too long. It's not like it's a huge deal, but a little annoying to have to rebuild your barracks. You can see he's lifting it way too late there to actually save it. So that's like one of those things where you might accidentally forget to rebuild it, and then when you want to add more factories in 2 minutes, you can't. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Whip here. Still getting great engages with his vultures against these vultures of Mars on the high ground. And with the 3 bases, he's actually caught up really well with SCVs. Mars isn't really making more SCVs right now. He is pretty saturated on 2 bases. And so Whip's actually taking a nice supply advantage here. He's going to get all these vultures as well. They can't go anywhere from Mars. And yeah, this game is starting to look really, really good for Whip, I feel like.
Yeah, really showing how he outshines Mars tactically. I like this kind of contain is really good, I think. I mean, this is another map with kind of a lot of like small narrow passageways and a lot of just these like uphill kind of pathways as well. So if you get tanks and vultures and mines up there, it's going to be really hard to break out. And look at Whip just bullying, just straight up bullying.
That mine almost went off there and killed so many SCVs. That mine does go off there and kill so many SCVs. And yeah, it looks like Whip, people complain that TVT is a matchup that, doesn't end. This is what, can happen in TVT if you just have dominating engages.
I have to give Whip credit here because he is one of the most entertaining Terran players to watch. He is not a Terran player that is one for like sitting on his back foot and just like macroing and waiting for like 2-1, 3-2 in TVP or something. Like he will just attack. Every chance he gets, he's going to try to get a little, contain going or get some harass going. He's super fun to watch.
2 tanks going down from those mines too. Whip, this is a dominating performance. This is one of the most convincing performances I think I've seen all tournament long. Just showing us that, from the very beginning, just in a great position. And he was just so good at predicting where Mars's vultures were going to go all game long. Mars couldn't get a single vulture out the entire game.
And Mars taps out. Amazing
3-3.
By Whip.
Means we're going to the ace match here.
Can you imagine, dude? I was a little like kind of joking a little bit when I said there'd be a reverse sweep here, but we are on our final game here. It could actually happen. I'm honestly shocked.
Who do you send out here, man? I think if I was Team Smacks, I might send out Whip, to be honest. He seems like JY might not be in the most comfortable playing position. I don't think Crossy's available, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably between Whip and Jaeyoon, but I mean, who knows? I think Jaeyoon has a load of tournament experience under his belt. On paper, I think he's considered the stronger player, but he has been kind of inactive recently. He was moving this week, so yeah, maybe they will send out Whip.
Is Dragon not here tonight? Is that?
I think Dragon is here tonight because he played both the team melees that we watched.
You're right, he did. So
pretty sure he's around.
It's definitely, I think, for Team Revival. I mean, it's got to be between Dragon and Pseudo, or not Pseudo, Sugo. And yeah, I'm not sure who they would send out there. They have sent out Sugo before. I know Sugo played against Scarlet in a PvP. So yeah, I'm curious who they want to send out here. And that's Crossy right there. So maybe Crossy is down to play.
Okay, I guess Crossy is back.
Okay, I for some reason thought Crossy was not going to be available, but
yeah, I mean, I thought so too because he like told me that, but
I think
roller coaster of emotions.
Hopefully, his internet is not too spotty. I think he might be playing on a hotspot, if my sources are correct here. So we'll have to hope that it is not too laggy here. And it looks like we have Dragon going up as well. So it's going to be an intense match, Crossy versus Dragon, a rematch from the first game.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think these two are super, super evenly matched, honestly. So this is going to be hype as fuck. It could go either way. A Dragon is just as confused as we are in the in the pre-game chat. It might be big laggy, Crossy says. And he's on one red bar. So let's cross our fingers. We are going to start the game right now.
Looks like Crossy's already apologizing for the potential lag here. Hopefully it's not too bad. And I have
Crossy is pleading with the Valnut gods.
But this is not going to be doable here for Crossy.
Well, he has 2200 APM though, so that's something.
And both players playing as fast as they can here.
All right, it seems a little more okay. Never mind.
I'm not sure if this connection is going to be stable enough. Well, they're going to turn it to extra high and see if they can play through it.
It's only turn rate 14. I mean, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, but it's stuttering really hard.
Seems a little stable. Well, anyway, it seems slightly stabilized now, so we will have our red Protoss Dragon at the top right, and our blue Zerg Crossy at the bottom right.
Yeah, well, hopefully it keeps stable. I mean, this is really choppy. This is really poor conditions. I think it's a little unfair that Dragon has to play in this leg.
It is quite unfortunate. Yeah, not something we really considered organizing the tournament, honestly, but it is quite a bit better now than it was at the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like it has cleared up a little bit. Just unfortunate that obviously Crossy wants to, he thinks he probably has the best chance of winning the game, so he wants to put out, or Team Smacks wants to put Crossy out, right? And he wants to play. It's unfortunate that he's lagging, but it's also just unfair to Dragon to have to play in TR 14 extra high. But like you said, it's smoothing out, so let's hope this game can still be awesome and cool.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate, but I can't fault Crossy for thinking, I do think he is probably the team's ace for sure, even though I think Jayun or Rip would be fine options as well. With everything redding on it, I can't judge him for that. We will see a 9 pool gasless 9 pool with the extractor trick for an extra drone here. It looks like he will get his natural hatchery down without any interference from that probe, which is quite good. Dragon will have to make 2 cannons before his Nexus. And yeah, we'll have to see if Crossy wants to go for another kind of 2-hatch or, some sort of all-in or just a straight-up 3-hatch macro game.
The classic, it is so choppy. This is brutal. The classic, strategy is when you're lagging to go for the all-in, so you can play a short game. We'll have to see if he wants to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of awkward when it's this laggy to go mutas, honestly.
But, wow.
Getting those lings in is huge, especially after forcing the 2 cannons. But 3 lings in is really, really good.
Oh my god, I'd be so tilted if I was Dragon.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Microing against the lings in this lag is not going to be fun.
And he still has a full scout off at least, so at least he can see everything that's going on there. But yeah, microing with probes against Zerglings when you're lagging already, this is just like, it's such a tall order. It's just brutal to play against it.
Yeah, he is catching. All right, well, one ling down is really
good job there. Yeah.
The other ling is damaged, so I feel like 2 lings is quite a bit less threatening than 3 lings. So actually, Dragon lagging a little bit there.
Yeah, I think it's probably just the connection in general is janked up because of the whole start of this game.
He is going through lair. Very good lair timing as well. Dragon is quite a bit delayed here. He just started his core. Taking down another probe there really hurts.
Yeah, and you have to remember that Dragon also had to make 2 cannons here. Those 2 cannons were a little bit too late, so that's why the Zerglings got in. And now, these Zerglings have already paid for themselves. They're getting so many probes here. Finally gets the second Zergling. At least one Zergling isn't quite as scary. So, yeah, Dragon's Nexus is delayed. He's just, in every facet of the game, he's behind right now. Gets another probe on his way out. And yeah, Crossy's just feeling great.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage for sure. He has a tech advantage. He has an economic advantage now after delaying Dragon so much and getting, not a huge number of probes, but I think 2 or 3 probes down. Plus, like you said, he delayed the Nexus. He had to build 2 of those cannons. His tech is delayed. It's just huge for Crossy, honestly. Crossy's already ahead in supply, which is pretty crazy in ZVP. Dragon will just have to play very, very safe from here. I think he has some idea that there's no cheese going on. Although, I don't know. I didn't see exactly when the probe died from Dragon in Crossy's main, but he was scouting for quite a while. So I think he is fairly confident that he's safe right now.
Yeah, looks like it. The Stargate will finish up in time to most likely get across and see exactly what Crossy's doing. I don't think the Scourge will be out in time to deny it, which is nice, at least for Dragon. He'll get some information of what's going on. He has overtaken supply here, which is, at least things are starting to get back on track. But everything's a little bit delayed here for Dragon, so he's going to have to adjust his build accordingly. And yeah, I'm going to want to see what kind of shortcuts he takes here to see if he can catch back up.
Yeah, so he has his Citadel is almost finished. He should get his Templar Archives on time, but he is delaying his +1 weapons quite a bit, I think, in order to catch back up on tech. He will finally get the scout off. Hopefully he won't get sniped by Scourge, rather, and get the vision that he needs. Oh my god, is he going to run straight? Okay, nice catch. Very, very nice catch from Dragon, catching that Corsair before it flew straight into 2 Scourge. Not easy to do, especially in this lag. And it does look like he's going for +1 weapons on the Corsairs. Meanwhile, Crossy is just going straight into Hydras. He's not going to be making any mutas at all, which is a pretty reasonable strategy. Oh, wait. Sorry, he did make he just one muta? Maybe to threaten?
Doesn't look like he made any more, yeah. It's just to scare him off. So one muta is going to try to bait. Like there's more mutalists on the way. It might force Dragon to make more Corsairs as well. We'll have to see if he's still pumping Corsairs, if he wants to go up to 5. It's so hard to go up to 5 Corsairs when it's lagging this hard, because Scourge are just too, I mean, like, you know, they just, your Corsairs don't have enough time to kill the Scourge before they reach.
Yeah, by the same token, it's also very hard to micro mutas and lag.
Yeah, so you probably wouldn't want to go mutalist either. So I would be surprised if Crossy makes any more, but he might have baited out, you know, Dragon into making more Corsairs, which might not be that useful. We'll have to see. We can see Crossy's already switching over to Hydralist, so he's going for a big Hydra push here. Or he's going to be in a second. The first DT out on the map. Still slow Overlords, but the DT is going to cross path with one, most likely. So Crossy should know what's going on here in a second. First DT does go down there right away, and that's so unfortunate for Dragon. You need that DT to get scouting information, to get something done. So many Hydralists moving across the map. He only has 4 Zealots. The cannons are going to drop here. They're probably going to be in time to, well, I don't know. It's going to be really close. They might not even be in time to bolt the push here. Here come the Hydras. If they already have range, this is really scary. It's only 4 Zealots. He needs another DT. There is no Overlord over here, so he could potentially get
He's going to have to pull probes here.
But there isn't one in the way. Yeah, he has to. Otherwise, he's just going to straight up die.
Oh,
and,
my.
Yeah, there goes down the cannons, and that's GG. Crossy taking the game there.
That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that was definitely not the ending we were hoping for there. Looks like Team Smack Squad taking it over Revival.
Yeah. Definitely not the ending that we were hoping for, but congratulations to Smack Squad for the reverse sweep.
Definitely congratulations to Smack Squad. Like I said, you know, can't blame Crossy for wanting to, I mean, if his team sent him out, he wants to, you know, take home the game for his team. So you can't blame Crossy at all for going out there and playing. It's just unfortunate that it had to be so laggy. But yeah, looks like Team Smack Squad taking it. They will be moving on next. They're going to be going up against Fancy Scars, and that's going to be next Friday. So that's going to be super sick. Obviously, Fancy Scars, you know, a fan favorite. They have Scarlet playing with them, and everyone wants to see her do well. So yeah, hopefully you guys can all tune in next Friday. Keen, you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm just you know, looking forward to next week again for sure. It's gonna be hype as fuck, like you said. Especially looking forward to seeing Scarlet play. It's always a pleasure to watch her Protoss. She just gets better every week. But yeah, thank you for co-casting with me. It was a ton of fun as usual.
Awesome, guys. Well, yeah. Our observer has been Pseudo. My co-caster Keen. I'm just too juicy. Yeah, we are going to be checking out for the night. Drop us a follow if you like the stream. Yeah, we'll see you guys all next time. Have a great time.